Hey Saber fans, this is graypaladin, and I have a review of my VHC saber from Vire Sabers. VHC stands for Variable Hilt Components, and that is a system that Vire uses so you can build or construct your own lightsaber from each individual section. The pommel, the body, the switch, a choke if you choose, and an emitter. I'll first go over all of the sections that I had chosen as far as their names go, and those will be listed in the description down below. And then I'll get into the dimensions of that. So, the emitter, I got the Halcyon emitter along with the Halcyon choke. And this is a kind of bright mirrored or polished finish. As far as the switch section goes, that is the Rook, R-O-O-K, all black. The body is the Apoc. It has this nice attractive brass bar along the side. And then the pommel is Cam, or K-A-M, all capital letters. All those combined together, it gives me a length of exactly 12 inches. And it was actually too long for the box where when I received it, the pommel was detached and wrapped separately, and then the rest of the saber was nice and snug in the box. The diameter is 1.3 inches. The blade depth of this saber is 2.7 inches. I think that's really solid. I think if you can get 2.5 to 3 inches, you're doing really, really good. I think almost industry standard is probably about 1.5 to 2 inches. Has a resonance chamber on the pommel of 1.7 inches. That's nice. And it weighs in at 12.8 ounces. So good size, just under a pound or quite a bit under a pound. But it doesn't feel so light that it's a toy. All right, when you order your saber, it came with everything I needed, which is really nice. So in the box here, I've got a wall charging adapter, Vire Sabers it says there, and you can plug in your USB cable there. Speaking of the cable, there it is with a 2.1 millimeter recharge port. Came with a card from the company, a Vire Sabers card. And on the back it says, "Hello there, come here my little friend." And then of course there are a variety of screws, retention screws and things that you might need to work with the core that's on the inside, as well as the Allen wrench. And if you didn't catch that before, that's Vire Sabers at viresabers.com. You can find them on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. Okay. You also get this nice manual. It's kind of cardboarded on the front and back covers, and then the inside is the paper. This is a universal manual, so it covers all of their possible cores, from the RGBX smoothswing, as you can see right here, to the Xenopixel, and they do also carry the Profit cores as well. And there's troubleshooting, how to charge, how to update fonts and things like that if you have an appropriate core or an applicable core to do so. So this is pretty cool and really nice. And then as a nice gift, I got this lightsaber keychain. How cool is that? And it goes through a variety of colors. So I think that's pretty sweet. And it also flickers through the spectrum. So that was really nice for them to throw that in there. This is the first one of these I have, and it's pretty cool. Alrighty, let's get into our close-ups of the saber and get some more details on it. I think this is a pretty attractive hilt. I like it very much. I also ordered a thumb screw, so this did not, it came with it, but I ordered it extra. And I feel like it really nicely offsets and balances the brass bar that's on the body. So as you can see here on the Halcyon emitter, very smooth and polished here. Has a nice mirrored finish, which fortunately does not collect a lot of fingerprints. So that's a good thing to know. I know a lot of people stray away from these kind of mirrored polish finishes because they don't like all the handprints and fingerprints, and it tends to look smudged and dirty and less attractive. I don't think there's a concern with this one because I've handled it quite a bit, and I actually did not wipe this down before the video, which I sometimes usually do, and as you can see, it's still looking very nice. This choke here is probably my favorite part of the saber. It feels so good in the hand when I spin this saber. I can't even emphasize that enough. So if you like chokes, this Halcyon choke is a really great option. Right above that choke at the emitter, you've got these two rings here. You almost don't notice them because it's polished up so well. And then there's our blade depth that I showed before, 2.7 inches. Really nice. I went with this black Rook switch because the body itself is a brushed aluminum where the choke and emitter are a polished. So to try to help break that or divide that difference or that contrast, I used a black switch in between. I did end up putting in timing shims. I think there's one right here so I can get this brass bar on the side of the hilt because I couldn't quite get it lined up on the top or the bottom. So the side worked really well, and I kind of like that, that offset brass balance. Bar on the left here, and then the thumb screw on the right. This is really smooth. It's kind of like a black anodized switch, and if you look at the top of the body here, this is actually like a brushed black aluminum. So it works well, I think, when you see it side by side. This brass bar is a really nice accent. And I think you'll see the same body on like a Kanan Jarrus or Calcatarn. Yeah, I think it's Calcatarn styled hilt. So that works really well. And you've got these black lines, a small or narrow one, slightly wider, and then the base and the top are the same width, being the widest. Then I get down into the pommel. And the pommel is actually slightly polished itself. I don't know if you can tell from the video, but it's a bit shinier and smoother here than it is here in the body. But again, this black band that separates the two really helps kind of smooth out or distract you from that contrast. This pommel is quite nice. I really like how it has this kind of rocket shuttle base right there, kind of tears out with slightly larger rings. Yeah, you can see that on the side, with black anodizing at the very top. So this works really well. There's the speaker pushed up in there. So between that and the base of the pommel, that gives me the 1.7 inch resonance chamber for the speaker. And this saber is quite loud, which you'll see in a moment. Good looking saber, I think. Feels really good in the hand. Again, this choke is the best part of it in my opinion. This brass bar, though it has a nice accent, it also provides a good grip to it in your hand too. It's not going to slide around because this will sit anywhere in your fingers where you're kind of gripping around and you're not going to feel it get loose. All right, so this has the new RGBX version 3 LGT Eco Smoothswing core. And I have to say, I like this very much. They've made so many improvements on this core. And I'm going to do a separate video with a comparison of the version 3 and against its predecessor. And I think the differences are very noticeable. And the price is still in the affordable range. So I have my, my thoughts and feelings towards LGT, but I think they really did kind of nail this one. The only thing that it's just missing is the regular swings or the accent swings. I think if they could do that to this core, this would be probably the best option on the market. And it feels a bit weird saying it, but I mean, they really did a good job with this version 3 sound core. There's the 3000 milliamp 18650 lithium ion rechargeable battery. You do get this 24 millimeter, I believe, Veco bass speaker, and these have also improved as well. So the board itself is slightly smaller, but I'll do more of this detail when I do the comparison video of those two cores. But this is really nice. Okay, so to power it on, if it's in deep sleep, to power it on, just press and hold the power switch.
Power on.
It indicates that it's on by the voice, which is clearly articulated. I appreciate that very much. This does have gesture control, so you can power it on with a press of the button, and then you press and hold to power it off, which could be a slightly timely process, so I'll demonstrate that now. Insert my blade. Nice handy dandy thumb screw, and I'm done. No Allen wrench needed. Really solid volume. The smooth swing response is next level from the previous generation. Again, there are no accent swings, and that is the only drawback to this, but I still feel satisfied with it, especially compared to the First Harvest soundboard that Saberforge has, which does not have accent swings either. This feels a bit more satisfying than First Harvest does, in my opinion. And to power it down, just press and hold. Now, like I said before, this has gesture control, so a lot of times it's just easier to just do this. And then there you go. You can stab, you can swing, you can spin, you can thrust, it doesn't matter, it's going to turn on. And then to power it down, just do a twist. And then it powers down much faster than waiting for 5 blinks from the activation switch. You can change the volume by 1 blink of the switch.
Volume low.
It says volume low. You also get a mute. And then you're high.
Volume high. Volume low.
We'll stick to the low for the purposes of this video so you can hear me speak. Again, you can power it on with a swing or press. You do have the smooth swing, which we already have seen and heard. 1 tap is blaster deflection. 1 blink and release is lockup. You can change color. This is full RGB. So you can go slowly through the color spectrum with 2 blinks. Actually, yeah, there it goes. So it's a slow scroll through the spectrum. That way you can see all the different color changes. When you reach a color that you like, you just tap once and it'll lock into that color. If you want to see the flash on clash, just impact the saber. And with 3 blinks, you can cycle through colors very quickly. There's some presets that are in there, and it goes through it much more quicker. And I prefer this method much better than the slow scroll. Once you reach the color you like, just tap the button once, and that locks in. And then you can power down with the 4 blinks. When the saber is powered off, you have some more options. So as before, I'm going to go back to the loud volume so you can hear all the menu changes.
Volume high.
We know that 1 blink controls or toggles the volume control. 2 blinks
Unstable.
goes through your blade effects. So right now we're on unstable, and the blade is flickering very quickly. You can hopefully see that in my hand.
Pulse.
You have a pulse. This is a really nice option. It's a slow and almost randomized dimming and brightening of the blade. Hopefully you can see that against my hand. And then you can have your stable,
Steady.
where there's no blinking or flickering or changing of the blade at all. It's just one solid color. Now with 3 blinks,
Motion control off.
We can turn off the motion control, which is really nice. So if you don't like thrust and swing power-ons and the twist off, things like that, you can completely turn that off so that way you're free to control the saber just from the switch. So as you can see, it's not powering on. And if I try to do a twist off, nothing. Something else that's really great about this version 3, the version 3 board, notice how it's twisting and all you heard was the smooth swing, which is great because its predecessor, you did that, it would activate an inadvertent clash, which was quite annoying. So lots of improvements on this soundboard. So that was 3 blinks. Let's go to 4.
Clash off.
Now you can turn off the clash. So if you are a spinner or like to do a lot of flow and you don't want to run into that issue of accidentally hitting the saber, bumping the saber, or jolting it in a way that it activates a clash and then it kind of hiccups the smooth swing, you can turn that off where now you're free to just swing the saber and there's no clash or anything. Great option. This is a huge improvement for them. If you want to turn those back on, just do your 3 and 4 blinks again and it'll turn it back on. So let's get our motion sensitivity on.
Motion control on.
And the clash back on.
Clash on.
Now we're back to where we were. And the clash should be back to... Yeah, so this is really great options. So now if you want to change fonts, I believe you just, and this takes a bit longer, you can either twist the saber, which I find can be sometimes finicky, or you can hold it for 5 blinks and then the font will change. The predecessor of this board had 9 fonts, and now this one, the version 3, has 12 fonts.
The Dark Sword.
Change our volume here.
Volume low.
So we all have the Dark Sword. That's from its original, the original 9.
Volume high.
I can twist. Like I said, this is finicky. So I always have an issue with it, so I find it easier to just press and hold.
Dark Ages.
This is one of the newer ones. This is of the new 12.
The second.
The second, this is also a new one. Now what's interesting about this one, it doesn't have accent swings, but the nature of the font itself makes it feel like it when you swing. Listen. So I like that one very much. Next font.
Serenity.
This is another new one.
Emperor.
This is one of the original 9.
Scavenger.
Original 9.
Princess.
Original 9.
Rage Knight.
Original 9, this was Kylo Ren.
The High Ground.
Original 9, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
The Count.
Original 9, Count Dooku.
The Fallen.
Original 9, Cal Kestis. Jedi Fallen Order.
The Dark Lord.
I think this is part of the new 12. Yeah, it is. And this is the font that I started on. and that's a Darth Vader inspired sound font. So I'm really pleased with the selection of parts that I have here. Again, that's the Halcyon emitter, Halcyon choke, Rook switch, Apoc body, and cam pommel. I got the thumb screw, which I think was maybe an additional $2, maybe less, and I got the RGBX version 3 soundboard, which I think is a home run when it comes to LGT Electronics. They've really done a great job improving this Eco Smoothswing board, and I highly recommend it now. Would I say it's the best budget board? Maybe we'll discuss that in another video. But this is, I think, definitely worth the money and the price. And Vire Sabers really did a great job of packaging everything and then giving you the bonus gift of the lightsaber keychain. So if you want to kind of piece together your own saber at an affordable price with a good electronic option, I do highly recommend Vire Sabers. I think it's pretty cool. The hilts themselves aren't overly extravagant, but they definitely check all the boxes. So I hope you enjoyed this review. Let me know with a thumbs up, like, and please feel free to comment down below because I always love to respond and interact with all of you. So thank you very much for watching, and may the Force be with you.